WSJV Channel 28. Now, news for Michiana with Mike Nikitas, Gina Tedesco, John Gallo's brother, and John Hammer Sports. This is NewsWatch 28.
Good evening. It's confirmed tonight skeletal remains found 2 nights ago in a shallow grave near Benton Harbor are those of a teenage girl who disappeared 11 years ago.
Those remains could open a murder case for which a man is serving a life sentence. And just how the skeleton was found unveils a very, very unusual story. Late today, Berrien County Prosecutor Paul Maloney confirmed the remains are those of Mandy Spear. She was killed 11 years ago, back in 1977, when she was 15 years old. Until now, however, there was no body. Then this man, James Butch Davis, was convicted and is serving life in prison for Mandy's murder. The full story on this from Linda Kaufman.
The body was found by Davis's family, who has searched the woods near Benton Harbor for 16 months, hoping to find the body and prove Davis didn't do it. Davis was convicted on testimony by other men who claimed that they and Davis killed Mandy Spear, shooting her in the head and mutilating the body. The Davis family told us today that the body they found was intact, and that could prove his innocence.
I made a commitment to myself that if it took the rest of my life that I would clear my brother's name, and we're hoping by what we spent the last 16 months is what we termed as hell will prove his innocence.
Davis, who is serving his life sentence in Michigan's Upper Peninsula, told us by phone today that he is sure this will clear him.
Anything them people could say, anything they wanted to say, they could say because there was no body. You know what I'm saying? There was no body there. So they say, yeah, right, Butch shot her and cut her up in little pieces. There's no body to verify that. They can say that. But now there's a body. What they said is a damn lie.
As for a new trial or whether the discovery of Mandy's remains will reopen the case, Prosecutor Paul Mahoney says that will depend on the results of further examination of the remains. In Benton Township, Linda Kaufman, NewsWatch 28.
Meantime, tonight, a number of South Bend city employees are losing their jobs.
They have to be laid off to help the city save money and balance the budget.
Our Joe Palmieri is live now from South Bend with the latest.
Joe, tell us, are the layoffs that have been announced so far going to be far enough?
Well, as of right now, the word from Mayor Kernan is yes, they will. I'm standing by live at Pinhook Park in South Bend, where just a few minutes ago, the mayor and city council members wrapped up their meeting. Here is what they came up with. 36 people are being laid off. Most of those pink slips went out today. And 41 positions within the city that are now vacant will not be filled. So in all, 77 city workers or city positions are gone. Also eliminated, alley paving, police substations are going to be closed. If you're locked out of your car, no more police help. That costs money. It's a really long list. It totals $1.4 million. That's what's needed to balance the budget. It's a problem, according to the mayor, that's been building up for years.
Long-term process, and certainly was precipitated last year when the state board mandated that the city cut its budget back, as well as the emphasis that we have on returning the city to sound financial footing.
Now, according to the mayor, all departments are going to be affected. This process actually began about 4 months ago. What happened was the mayor, newly elected mayor, went to department heads and said, what I want you to do is balance your budget. And then what I want you to do is cut 5% from that balanced budget. And what we are seeing today, the effects are, I should say, this is what has come out of that entire process. Mike and Gina?
All right, Joe, thank you.
All right, Joe, thanks. A gas spill cleanup has been set tonight for next week at the MDK company in Goshen. Last week, an MDK employee dumped gasoline mixed with water behind the company. Tonight, MDK says the top 11 inches of soil where the mixture was dumped will be removed, then aerated, and then put back. All this week, we've been featuring a very urgent subject in a series of special reports we call Polluted. It's about the quality of our water. We have talked about the levels of pollution in the St. Joe River. And tonight in Part 4, Mary Parks investigates our groundwater. But first, Lee Engelhardt has late developments on the river.
As we reported earlier this week, the Elkhart portion of the St. Joseph River generally tests low for fecal coliform bacteria, which is largely associated with disease-causing viruses. The Elkhart wastewater treatment plant is generally given much of the credit for the clean water. It's said to be a model treatment facility, efficiently cleaning wastewater before returning it to the river. However, yesterday and today, problems have developed in the plant, problems that are resulting in the flow of raw sewage into the St. Joseph River. A malfunctioning sewer line on the city's north side forced plant officials to divert the sewage into the river. This dumping is legal. Overflow pipes can be used in an emergency or during heavy rains when stormwater floods the system. Officials say the problem should be corrected tonight. Along the St. Joseph River in Mishawaka and South Bend, water has generally shown to be high in fecal coliform bacteria, higher downstream from the wastewater treatment facilities in these cities. At an informal meeting late this afternoon, South Bend plant officials briefed county commissioners and the mayor on the status of the plant. They say so far this year they're cleansing water at an acceptable level.
I think that we've really turned a corner. We've really gone aggressively after our operations and our maintenance.
Still, county health officials continue to find high fecal coliform bacteria levels at sites just downstream from the plant. NewsWatch 28 also found unacceptable levels there in tests we conducted this month. A group of concerned Michigan citizens called Friends of the St. Joe River believe that untreated waste may account for much of Michiana's water pollution. The group believes local plants may be dumping more raw sewage than is allowed.
I think it's just an easy diversion when the wastewater plant becomes near capacity or over capacity, that these pipes do back up and there is an automatic overflow into the river.
But in South Bend, officials say their overflow pipes are checked 6 days a week and they're hardly ever in use.
They're dry as a bone. I mean, it's no question. They're either flowing or they're not flowing. And that's why we have the human factor. When they go out there and they check it, if it's malfunctioning, they do whatever's necessary to repair it.
Lashinsky says in the first 2 months of this year, South Bend's overflow pipe sent raw sewage into the river on only 4 separate occasions. River water is not the only water in question, so is our groundwater. And as Mary Parks reports, there is a strong relationship between our ground and river water.
Like most people, you probably take the quality of your drinking water for granted, assuming that water across the U.S. is the best in the world, that water treatment facilities remove contaminants from your water, and that the government knows exactly what's in your drinking water by thoroughly testing it. Well, you may want to take another look. Nationwide water samples have turned out to be a chemical soup with traces of contaminants being found in our groundwater. Groundwater, like all water on Earth, comes from precipitation, rain and snowfall. It's water that fills the cracks underground. This groundwater evaporates, replenishing our rivers and streams, and eventually returns to the atmosphere. We've accidentally and intentionally spilled hazardous chemicals onto the ground, which have seeped into our water, like the recent incident in Goshen, where a large amount of gasoline was spilled.
From the point of view of the fire department, getting the vapors knocked down with sand and getting the liquid covered, we don't have a fire hazard. Of course, we have a potential environmental concern, and that's what we'll follow up with now.
If testing is positive, this would be Goshen's first documented case of groundwater contamination. We have not properly disposed of hazardous chemicals and have been lax in monitoring landfill and toxic waste dumps. The EPA estimates 75% of all toxic waste dumps are leaking, and that does not include unmonitored septic tanks. The EPA also estimates there are 77 billion pounds of chemicals produced a year, and only 10% of them are being handled properly. Because of that, hazardous materials are showing up in our wells.
A number of years ago, there simply weren't laws that required the disposal of certain types of solvents. Now there are the laws on the books, and as a result, many of the industries are just now learning about those laws and are just now coming forward with the kind of programs that are necessary to make sure that the groundwater is protected.
In the past 5 years, Michiana has seen the number of contaminated water sites soar. The most threatening water problem in St. Joseph County is in Granger, where a huge plume of gasoline and benzene, a cancer-causing agent, are directly below and surrounding the Granger Industrial Park.
The problem is still there, and it is still continuing to move southerly and threaten the subdivision.
It's been 10 years since the county health department first learned of a benzene problem at the industrial park. Officials can offer no explanation as to why, after a long and intense investigation, the source of the contaminants has not been found. And no one seems to know how to clean it up or who is responsible. The homes and businesses around the site are simply using bottled water and continue to live with the threat of being poisoned. Elkhart County's #1 contamination problem is in and around the city itself. Since 1981, TCE, a cancer-causing chemical, has been threatening the city water supply. Millions of dollars have been spent to clean the city's municipal water system.
You can have perfectly clear water that looks great that is highly toxic, and the only way to measure toxicity is through toxicity testing.
State officials say overall, the St. Joseph River Basin, where our groundwater is stored, is pretty clean compared to other parts of the state where more serious problems have been identified. But we're slowly killing off our precious supply of groundwater through neglect. Tomorrow night, we'll examine the future of our waterways in Michiana and our groundwater, and what the depletion of this valuable resource means to Michiana pocketbooks. Mary Parks, Newswatch 28.
And Michigan City is facing a $125,000 fine tonight from the Environmental Protection Agency. The fine is for raw sewage discharges into Trail Creek from the city's treatment plant. The EPA says the discharges killed fish in the creek. The city says it will fight the fine.
Still to come on Newswatch 28, Congress may act to bring hundreds of new jobs to Michiana.
An expansion of an Elkhart Mental Health Center to bring expanded hope for patients.
And what are the most gorgeous and fun places to go on vacation? We'll show them to you.
Picture this. It's Ayers May Sale. Picture a spectacular store-wide sale with some of the season's biggest savings in every department of every Ayers store. Best of all, picture saving money on hot summer fashions. Just when it's really getting hot.
Ayers May Sale, tomorrow through Sunday.
Get the picture?
We shopped around a lot before we bought our Mazda at Putnam, but the people at Putnam were so nice compared to the other car dealers we talked to. They didn't push us, they gave us a great price, worked out a financing package for us. They just made us feel special. I'm just sorry we didn't go there first. It sure could have saved us a lot of aggravation.
That feeling, special feeling never ends at Putnam Honda, Mazda, Volkswagen.
The faltering Elkhart Auto Plant project for Benton Harbor is getting some help from Congress tonight. Congressman Fred Upton and Senators Donald Regal and Carl Levin are asking the government to give Elkhart another shot at a $10 million grant. The government turned down Elkhart earlier this week because it did not have the firm financial backing. Elkhart, a joint American-Israeli venture, has plans for a 500-job auto plant in Benton Harbor.
Americans are expected to take off to a lot of vacation hotspots in record numbers this year. As Newswatch 28's Sam Wyatt reports, if you don't make plans and reservations now, you may get stuck at home.
Americans will take 305 million vacations this summer. That's 10 million more vacations than last summer. We never seem to get tired of traveling, and vacationers are rediscovering some of the old hot spots to travel to.
Las Vegas, Florida, probably the hottest.
One of the most popular places to vacation is Cancun, Mexico, a beach resort with a record number of tourists checking in every day. And there's Disney World near Orlando with its new MGM studios and ever-expanding Epcot Center. More people will be traveling to more places this summer than ever before. And to get the best prices to where you want to go, there's somebody you should see. And that person is a travel agent who can save you big bucks on tickets and accommodations. More money for you to spend when you arrive at your destination.
I obviously feel that travel agents are the best answer to a consumer buying a travel ticket. The reason being that they're more familiar with what is available.
If you're thinking about going to Europe, you might want to think about that again.
Europe is down because of the dollar devaluating.
If you're driving to your vacation spot, expect gas prices to go up. After the end of May, you won't see prices like this anymore. A little planning can give you a very pleasant trip. Sam Wyatt, Newswatch 28.
Well, Michiana hasn't exactly been a hot spot today. It's been a back-and-forth battle between the sun and threatening clouds.
John Gallus says there's rain on the way, but not enough for farmers. His forecast is next.
Oh, honey, you look beautiful.
Mom, where's Grandma?
Dear, she called.
And?
Something broke.
Not her hip again.
No, her dishwasher.
Dishwasher.
Announcing Highland Superstore's spectacular 3-day sale. Now through Saturday, save on many items in every Highland store.
Mom, where's Uncle Harry? He wanted to take pictures.
Not as much as he wanted to save on a new stereo.
What? Mom, where'd Daddy go?
Darling.
He wouldn't.
He did. To save on a new video recorder. But he'll be back in plenty of time for the reception.
Get this Sanyo personal AM/FM stereo cassette player with adjustable headphones, just $24.97. And this Whirlpool 5,000 BTU air conditioner, only $179.
You know, Mom, at a time like this, you find out who you really can count on. Mom? Mom?
Highland spectacular 3-day sale, now through Saturday only.
Can you keep a secret? Good. Because Quality Farm and Fleet's anniversary sale is a surprise party. Imagine how surprised the boss will be when he sees these low prices.
Like peak summer coolant, just $1.99 per gallon after rebate on 2-gallon purchase. Valvoline oil is just 49 cents after rebate. And Purolator oil and air filters, 99 cents and $1.99 after rebate.
Collins, how did all these anniversary prices get so low?
Surprise. Oh, boy.
Quality Farm and Fleet. You work too hard to pay too much.
I don't waste time or money. That's why I get my glasses from Vision Express. They have thousands of frames to choose from, including the latest designer styles. The Vision Express in-store lab custom-made my glasses in less than 1 hour. Save time, save money. Come to Vision Express. Vision Express, now 2 locations. Scottsdale Mall near Target and across from University Park Mall next to Service Merchandise.
Well, farmers need rain, John. They're going to get some, but not enough.
Not enough. Probably 1/4 of an inch in scattered here and there showers between later tonight and through Friday night and Saturday. The news is not good for farmers. And as far as today's weather goes, well, there were changes. We did have a few more clouds, but they did not produce rain. And the temperature did not fluctuate all that much from yesterday's high of 76. It went down to 74. And as you look at the satellite, all I can say is some farmers are very happy right now, while others are extremely frustrated. While we know the situation in Michiana, they're getting too much rain in Pennsylvania. Flooding conditions in south central and southwestern Pennsylvania into Virginia and Maryland. And out west, severe thunderstorms from Texas up through the Dakotas. Lots of rain there, but we just can't get those rain systems to move east because these fronts can't move until this high moves out of the way. This high can't move until this moves out of the way. Then here's what we have. Again tomorrow, the same low pressure center. Tomorrow morning, tomorrow afternoon, it's still going to stay there. The high's still going to stay there. The front is moving closer. The backlash of that low could produce rain, but it is highly unlikely we're going to get a lot. Here's the forecast. A log jam with the weather systems will continue to produce static weather. Partly cloudy tonight, a low of 50. Tomorrow, partly sunny, a 20% chance of showers, a high of 75. And then for tomorrow night, partly cloudy, again a 20% chance for showers. Saturday, the same thing. The best chance for rain will come Sunday where we have thunderstorms. More on that weekend forecast later.
All right, keep our fingers crossed. Thanks, John. Coming up in sports, the Cubs are swept by the Cards. A look at a top Major League prospect.
And it's the pedal to the metal at the fairgrounds. Sports is next.
There is a bank where bankers go to school. There's a bank where bankers study because the world is changing. We teach them that while many things change, one thing doesn't. The most important thing about a bank, always, is people. Midwest Commerce. Banking the way it ought to be.
In the land of Dairy Queen.
It's the Blizzard Flavor Treat. So rich, so thick, you gotta spoon it up. Get one made with a Heath bar. Sunshine Ginger Snaps. Hydrox Original and Mint Creams. M&M's Peanut Chocolate Candies. Fruit or nuts. The Blizzard, only at Dairy Queen. An American original.
We treat you right.
Hi,
Bob Vila. I believe in the advantages of the electric heat pump. So will you when you talk to this heat pump specialist.
I'm Glenn Zebel of Zebel's Heating and Air Conditioning in Goshen. A Carrier electric heat pump gives you efficient fuel consumption for your home, saving you money on your heating and cooling bills, along with safe and clean operation. Call Zebel's Heating and Air Conditioning today for an estimate on a Carrier electric heat pump.
The electric heat pump, it heats, it cools, and it saves.
Wake up. Wake up to the hottest sale of the season, the Sunshine Sale at Target, with huge savings on everything you need for the sun. Hurry, or you could be left completely in the dark.
Well, John says the Cubs dropped another one, and their offense was anemic.
Not even existent. That's right. At sports time, the St. Louis Cards made service in full force today, completing the three-game sweep of the host Cubs. It's already 2-0 in the first when a shot by Tony Pena gets through the legs of Vance Law. Tough day for Vance. That makes it 3-0 final, 5-1 St. Louis over the Cubs. More on the major leagues tonight. Baseball fans remember the name of Andy Bennis. The University of Evansville pitcher is considered one of the top 3 pitchers in the upcoming major league draft. The 39-17 Purple Aces working out for tomorrow's start of the MCC tourney. Bennis, an Evansville native, is 14-3 on the season with a 1.54 ERA.
He's done extremely well with it, and the thing is, I've had kids before that you tell them, okay, now the scouts are coming to see you today, and they don't do quite so well because of pressure. Where Andy has gone out and made a lot of money this year just because every time it's on the line, he's got the job done.
Well, I need to gain some upper body strength, but I think your legs are very important whenever you throw the ball hard, and my legs, I feel like my legs are pretty strong, and a lot of conditioning. We worked really hard in the off season on the running and getting up to so we could throw a 9-inning game right away.
He's a good one, except for several holdouts, including a handful of high draft picks. The Bears minicamp is running smoothly. Quarterback Jim McMahon is trying to get his shoulder back in shape. Jimbo determined to play a 16-game season. But get a load of, well, this load. Defensive lineman William Perry has to be tipping the scales at 230+. There's no truth to the rumor that Perry set off the Richter scale in Lake Forest. The blackout is lifted for the first time since ABC has televised live the Indianapolis 500 the past 3 years. WSJV TV receiving word late this afternoon that it will be allowed to show the race live in its entirety. Coverage on WSJV beginning at 10 a.m. May 29th, with the race beginning at 11. The Indianapolis TV market remains blacked out. Overgrown pickups known as monster trucks invade the St. Joe County Fairgrounds this weekend, with the king of the hill actually a queen. Fairgrounds around the country are being overrun by monster truck madness, a phenomenon partly responsible by this truck, the boss, and Meredith Dalton, the only woman driver on the tour.
About 3 years ago, I thought it would be a good idea as a publicity stunt to have a lady driver in one of our shows. My husband and I produce monster truck madness shows all over the country. So I volunteered myself, and yes, the media was hooked and I got interviewed, attention, but then I started driving in the shows, and I got better, and I practiced, and I got better, and I started beating people, and now I love it.
And what's it feel like to be 5'2", 105 pounds, in control of a 10-ton truck?
It's exhilarating, and when I know that I do a good crush and clear maybe 4 cars at a time, I feel that I have accomplished something for the monster truck industry, for the fans, and for myself, and it is incredible to be in a truck, not in an airplane, and just see the sky, and that's all you see.
Meredith, when you're collecting Social Security, are you still going to be doing this?
I doubt it. I think I'll be promoting monster truck or monster spaceships. There you go.
Big money in that maybe in a few years.
Crushing planets.
Yeah, perhaps.
Okay, thanks, John. Up next, this week's Pick of the Pets.
Tonight, a pup named Bailey. Stay with us.
At the Olive Garden Italian restaurant, we speak a different language. We have no words for can't and won't and impossible. No phrases for a little less or not too much. In fact, we don't know the meaning of enough.
Some would say speaking a different language can make all the difference in the world. The Olive Garden Italian restaurant, where all the best of Italy is yours.
The war rages on, and Jordan's Auto Mall is blowing away prices on every Toyota in stock. Toyota Camry, sophisticated, fuel-efficient, ranked #1 in 87 for customer satisfaction. For a limited time, you can drive this Camry for only $99.73. Toyota Cressida, the most trouble-free car sold in America. Jordan says these Cressidas must go, so we've reduced the price by $3,500. Plus, Jordan's is giving every Toyota buyer a free gas grill, lawnmower, or bicycle. At Jordan's Auto Mall, nobody beats our deals.
If you have a small army to feed, we have the perfect way to feed them. Burger bundles are back at Burger King. Flame broiled mini cheeseburgers, 3 to a pack. And for dessert, there's Spooners, delicious frozen treats with cookies and cream or new Heath Bar Crunch topping. So load up the troops, big and small, and head on into Burger King for burger bundles and Spooners for a limited time only at Burger King.
We do it like you do it at Burger King.
I guess this family wanted the best heating system for this part of the country.
Gas heat from NIPSCO, naturally.
Naturally?
Naturally. You know, gas is still the cheapest way to heat your home or heat your water.
Really?
Really. And gas is clean, warm, natural heat. You can feel, not cool air. Don't you want to feel warm and cozy this winter?
Well, naturally.
Well, then heat with the natural gas advantage.
From NIPSCO?
Naturally.
John Gallus has this week's Pick of the Pets.
John, this guy is going to be a big one.
He's going to be a big one for sure, Mike and Gina. And I guess the theme is Bailey. And Bailey wants to go home. With me is Angela Doyle from the St. Joseph County Humane Society. Tell us all about our pick this week.
Well, Bailey is a St. Bernard Shepherd mix. He's a male, about 8 weeks old, and he also has a sister available for adoption. Since he'll definitely weigh over 45 pounds when he's full grown, he'll need a fenced-in yard to play in.
Let me take a quick look at this, Phil. And our adoptions are going great, aren't they?
Our adoptions are going just fine. The last 2 Pick of the Pets were both adopted by Mishawaka families.
Fantastic. Well, let's keep on calling. Remember, 255-4726. Bailey needs a home.
Next, this one is going to take him home.
Beautiful. Thanks, John. Well, we'll say goodnight to you with some of our friends and neighbors at the Berrien County Courthouse saying hello to Michiana.
That's all our time. Thanks for yours. Good night.
Good night.